Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and in just a moment we're going to be looking at some hands I played on the 25 Street of Triple Eight last week. I wasn't going to show these hands. These were hands I marked for review with my peers in some groups that I'm in. I never got around to reviewing them, and I wasn't going to review them on here because I didn't want regs seeing themselves in hands against me in kind of like tight spots. I didn't mind showing them if it's a hand that's just like a big cooler or whatever, but I didn't want to show any hands where I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what to do here, and then explain my thought processes. But I'm not going to be continuing on Triple Eight this week because I just, even though they've upgraded the software, it's really nice now, really nice software. There's still some bugs on it which are a little bit annoying, and the games are decent. Don't get me wrong, but are they any more decent than Party Poker? I'm not sure. On Party Poker, I can get close to 350 hands more per hour because you can 4-table on Party and it's faster. And you also get better rate back. So overall, I think my owl is going to be better on Party than it is on Triple Eight when I'm speed pokering. And also on Party, you get flat rate back no matter how much you rake. Whereas on Triple Eight, you've got to rake a minimum of 200 before you start qualifying for rate back. So all in all, as nice as Triple Eight's update is, it's not the best option for me. So I don't mind going through these hands because these regs aren't going to see me again for quite a while, I wouldn't imagine. So anyway, let's get on with reviewing the hands. I'm going to try and make sure I take enough time over them to actually get my thought process out and not speed run through them like I sometimes do. Oh yeah, before we start again, and this is relevant to the video, so it's not me just rambling. I went to my friend Johnny's house again yesterday, did another hour or so work looking at some MDA stuff, specifically spots that I wanted to look at, and came up with a bunch of with another like raft of standard plays for me to make when I'm not sure. If I'm in a spot and I'm confident in my read on an opponent, I'll just go with that. But in spots which comes quite often in speed poker where it's relatively close against a reg and you're not sure what to do, or relatively close against a fish and you're not sure what to do, I just want as many go-to, right, just do this reg. In the absence of thinking of something better to do, just do this reg as your standard line. I want as many of them as possible. I've got quite a lot of them now. I think it's really good. It's really helped me transform my game. And so these hands were played before my session with Johnny yesterday. So I'm not going to say what I should have done during the hand because it will be different. I'm going to say this is what I would do now, and we'll see how that compares to how I played in game. And I imagine there's going to be quite a lot of difference because number one, I've got some new standard lines that I'm experimenting with, and number two, it's far easier to play your best game away from the table in a situation like this than it is when you're in battle and there's 3 tables going and the adrenaline's running. You're maybe prone to a little bit of short-term result orientation, etc. So we'll see what we did, but before we see what we did, I'll try and say as accurately as possible what I would do should the situation present itself again. So let's crack on. We have a, well, unknown, but he's got tightish stats, reggish stats, but he's got a short stack, so we screen tag is going to be shit, isn't he? We 3-bet the ace king. I should have gone bigger here. At the start of the week, I was having my 3-bets 2.9x in caption. Then I toyed with making it 3.25x, and I went back to 2.9x. I don't think it matters that much, to be honest, but this is what we're doing then. I'm not doing that now. If this was on Party now, this would be 2 big blinds, and I'd be making this 7. Well, today would be anyway. Tomorrow, who knows? Anyway, we get the 3-bet in. Our man calls. We riff the flop. Our man checks. We got 14 hands. The guy's got 50 big blinds. We don't know a lot about him. My default assumption here is going to be versus this small 3-bet size. Most pre-flop hands are going to be continuing. So although he's going to have quite a few like pocket pairs that just aren't folding, he's probably going to have a fair bit of air as well that we can just make fold now. Like Jack 10 of spades, for example, Jack 10 of clubs, all that type of thing. I don't really care what I did now, but if I was playing this hand again now, I would just stab small here. like 1/3 pot and like four and a bit big blinds. Just attack any auto folds, etc. And we did check back. Turn 6. Our man now leads for 1/3 pot. He could be doing this with a mix of some like pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, that type of thing. Maybe even pocket jacks, queen X. And then he can obviously have just some random air that's just fucking around. If he does here with like the random 10 9s, jack 10s, etc., maybe he's just fucking around, like probing small to just fold out hands exactly like this, or to put pressure on hands exactly like this. I don't think we can ever fold to this turn probe size with this hand, although we're not particularly comfortable. But just calling, I think, and maybe doing some stuff on the river. Or hitting a king on the river, which is nice. Now villain bets small again. This would be a mandatory bluff raise versus his size. But with value, it's just a value raise, and I don't really care what size we go. We all in 20. It doesn't matter. We decided to go all in. Villain did call. And Villain had a set of 3s. Good for him. Never mind. Oh, by the way, that set of 3s books a trend. If we go back to this, I want to do this properly. You would expect a fish or a reg to bet much bigger on this river with a set of 3. So this would be a note I would make if I was playing, because this size on the river, I would just attack it with an awful lot of my range. Given he's taken this line, he's like call pre, check flop, block turn, block river. I will be attacking this quite liberally. Given the stuff that I looked at yesterday. So I would have raised this irrespective of hitting a king. So I would then put a note on this player, just basically saying value in turn, river, block size probes. So just so I would be less prone to making that mistake against it. It's really important if you do have strategies that you're using as a default against certain lines, that if you find players who do things that trigger a response from you that is not the correct response versus them, it's very important you put a note on it so you don't repeat the mistake. Because you can guarantee if I didn't hit the king and I raised here, or you can't guarantee it, but you should do it, he should then have a note on me saying that I just took off versus block. So it's really important that you know the people that the strategy didn't work well against, so you can maybe protect yourself from doing it again in future. On to the next hand. Queen Jack suited. We open. Call from an obvious fish in the small blind. Flop the nuts. There's not going to be much to say about this one, I don't think. Check. Just bet pretty big. 60%. I wouldn't bet small here. I wouldn't bet about 1/3 pot here. I'd be 60%, 75%. Would I ever overbet? Probably not, but maybe against a fish we just should. Maybe we could just overbet here, like booking 8 big blinds or something. I went with that size, it's whatever he calls. Turn pairs the board. Check. Don't think we probably can still overbet versus the fish, but I don't think I would. I imagine 75% would be closer to the mark. Slightly bigger. Call. River 7. Check. So I guess I mark this for the view. Just feels like, right, what size do we get to go here on rivers on a paired board versus like a small blind calling range? His range, I think, is probably going to be pretty capped to, like what? I mean, the dream is he's got a jack. He's got like 10 jack, and he's just rivered the straight. Maybe got some 8x. What size would I think? I don't think he's ever got a full house. I think we hear from full houses at some point. Maybe pocket 7s might be the only full house he might have. He shouldn't. He's small blind calling, so he's 9-8, 10-8. I mean, they're in there. I think the suited varieties 8-7, I guess, but there's not many of them. But there's a fair few combos of trips and straights. I imagine just go big, I think. But Yeah, just go big. Maybe pot. I decided I wanted all of it. I was being very greedy here. I mean, I guess I just think the guy's got. I'm either hoping he's got an 8 or a jack, aren't I? That's what I'm going for here. And clearly just not bothered about him having a better hand, and I'm just targeting 8x, jack X. I've give up like trying to get called by 10x, although maybe you still do sometimes. And now I'm just being like, right, okay, trips and straights, I want the lot. And we did get called. And the guy had the jack 6 suited in the small blind. We could take that, dude. And we move on. 9-10 suited. Open from this guy. When you got the stats, I'm not from remotely familiar with the name. Looking at the stats now, he looks pretty active, probably old school like style. His opening button 51% over a small sample of 43 times. Call. I mean, I can go 2 ways here: 3-bet or call. The guy only falls to 15% of the 3-bet so far, so I wouldn't be 3-betting this hand versus somebody with that profile in this node, etc. That's a little in-joke between Juicenberg and Ryan and I, if we ever see it. So in this node, I wouldn't be 3-betting this hand against his profile. But I did. He called. 5-5-9 flop. All of a sudden, we're in dicey situations. Green, I got a very bloated pot, 27 big blinds in. We got top pair. We can't improve to 2 pairs, really. You know, if this guy just has a random pocket 10s or pocket jacks or something he didn't 4-bet, then we're not improving. But he's still just got loads of cards at his. They're just not doing great against us. Our hand probably needs some protection here. There'll be a lot of Queen Jack, King Jack, Queen 10, Ace Queen, Ace Jack, loads of overcards. I think just want to bet here. And probably, I don't want to just bet 1/3. Whether Theory wants to bet 1/3, I don't really care what Theory wants to do here. I couldn't give a fuck what Theory wants to do, to be honest. We've got a player who's going to have loads of like 2 overs in range, maybe some backdoor flush, etc. We don't want to give them easy calls. I'm going to want to go more than half pot here. So we go less than half pot. Well done, Reg. Call. Turn an 8. Now it's starting to get really sticky because all of a sudden we've got 1 pair of 9s in a 53 big blind pot. And does betting now begin to come too thin? I don't think so. I think we have a probable bet fold. And all of a sudden I don't want to go as big anymore. I know my friend Juice hates his size, but I'm liking a bit of 40% here personally. Like 20 bigs. We check. I think I'd have preferred betting there. Our man checks back. We now river a full house. And we wish we'd put that bet in on the turn. Well, I know what I'll be doing now in this line. I'd just be blocking this river with range. It doesn't really matter what I did in game. Now, after like 3-betting pre-C-bet check turn, once I've checked the street, I would normally just like block range. So here I'd be like, I don't know, 18 to 20 big, something like that. We check again. Am I going for a check raise? I was going for a check raise. Our man just puts it in. We call. Maybe I'd seen this. Maybe I'd seen this like 53% river aggression with 0% won at sure. I just spoiled this. I don't know. Spoiler, lads, we're going to win. Maybe I saw this. This is where they like playing on Triple Eight has its advantages because you do have these HUD stats. This could very, very easily be me. Right, well, this guy just gets to rivers and bluffs everything because he got a 53% bet percentage, which is huge. And then he hasn't won once yet. So this is probably me directly exploiting or trying to exploit what I think is a leak in this player's game. And we just cooled the cock off him on the river. So, nice. King Jack suited. Open from this reggish type looking player who's got my yellow tag, probably to do with his 3-bet stat over a small sample. Every chance this player regresses to orange at some point. We're going to be 3-betting here, I would imagine. We do. We pick up a cold call from a fish, and the reg comes along. We flop nothing. Check, check. I'm just going to be checking this multi-way. I don't think I'll be stabbing here. King on the turn. Our man now leads for half pot. Call. Call. Nothing else to say really, is there? We're not happy about it, but we're calling. 7 river. Our man now goes all in. Here's a problem, right? Had he potted it here, I would have folded his hand and not thought twice about it. Maybe he's wanting to pot it, but because he started short, he's not able to pot it. So, like, how would we measure this? I mean, it's just half pot, so we have to call. But he might not be wanting to half pot, if that makes sense. So this range could be like... The point I'm trying to make is, just say we both had infinite big blinds. If he bet 35 bigs, I would snap this off. If he bet full pot, I would fold. But the guy hasn't got the full stack. So, is this range... How do we... Well, we can't define it, basically. I guess if I was talking about this with Johnny, and I don't know if Johnny even watches my videos, but Johnny, if you're ever watching this, or anyone really, would you consider this still just to be a half-pot bet in terms of, like, trying to define villain's range, or would you be looking at this spot slightly differently? Because I've got a sense that maybe this guy, if he had more chips, would have bet more with chips. I might have butchered my explanation of that, but I know what I mean. Anyway, we can't focus. It's half pot after all that. So we did call, and villain had a full house. Ace, king, limp. This guy who... He's probably a fishy semi-reg. Isolates a 7. We're going to 3-bet here, I would imagine. Probably size-wise. I mean, we should go around 28 because, we want to be around 4x. But 28 seems a lot. 28 seems a lot. What would I do now? I've got to answer the question. I'm in game now. I'm on my party games. But a fishy player limp and a potential pretty shit reg. ISO to 7. Well, for a start, because I think he's a pretty shit reg, I think this range is going to be quite strong. Pre-flop, he does have button calls. Does he have... I don't know if he has over limps. I don't know how to find it. But I guess he maybe has some over limps too. So I guess this is going to be strong-ish. Not to say that, like, we should be worried with ace king, but do I think this guy's the guy who's like ISO-ing a limper here with 6-7 suited to 7 bigs? I don't think this is that guy. I think this is like a relatively strong range. Am I willing to run it pre? Yeah, of course I am. Yeah, I think just stick to around 28, Reg. 28 is what we went. This guy still just comes along with a call. And then this guy folds. Then we get this flop. We have 2 overs, a gut shot, and hopefully fold equity against like pairs that have limp call, like pocket 3s, pocket deuces. Even as 23-9, there probably isn't limp calling those hands, to be fair. I still think I like just shove here. I mean, we've got 2 overs and a gut shot, and just fuck this guy. I mean, if he's limp call with like a fucking ace queen or a pocket 10s or whatever, then good for him. I still think I just like a fuck you jam here. Because what else are we going to do? Check and then what he bets, which fold, or check and just call it off. I watch quite a lot of Carrot's videos, and he's like, in these spots, it's quite often check and then let all the like bluffs villain can have just fire. Just like let his trash fire, because if we bet his trash is going to fold. But I'm not sure how much trash this guy has when he's limp and then just called a 7x and then a 28x. I think he's going to. I don't think we've got a lot of fold equity here, but I don't think we need a lot, given that, we're going to be shoving for pot. So, in fact, let's have a little look at how much fold equity we need. So the pot is 64 and 58 to jam. So current pot size is 64. Nothing to call. Shove amount 58. Equity when called. Well, we've got a gut shot, so that's 4 outs twice. Although if he's got no head then. So we've got 4 outs, and we're going to give ourselves maybe. That's another what we got, like 3 kings, 3 aces. So that's 10 outs, but they might not necessarily be live. I'm going to give myself, say, 7 outs here. So 7 outs twice is 28%, or around that. Let's give ourselves 30%, because sometimes you can call with the worst hand. So we give ourselves 30%. So we don't need very much fold equity here, basically. We don't need very much fold equity at all. So yeah, it's just, I think, just jam, given how little fold equity we need. That's what I did. Villain did call. Bricks out, and he had top set. So we didn't have much fold equity, and we didn't have as much pot equity, as much pot share as I thought we might have. Next hand, King 8 suited. Open from this guy. Should more likely be yellow tagged, because his stats are pretty reasonable. His race first in stats. Yeah, that's very reasonable. This guy's probably a good player. Or good player relative to pool. I think call off 3-bet here. This guy folds to 3-bet 65% of the time. From the button specifically, he falls to 3-bet 67% of the time over a much smaller sample. I think we can go either way here, call or 3-bet. We do go with 3-bet this time. Villain calls. We flop ourselves second pair. In spots like this where I've got more hands on people, I will be coming to this, looking at someone's float bet flop, 92% float bet. That's bet when checked to. Now I accept this is a 3-bet pot, so it's a bit different. But knowing how aggressive this guy looks to be on flops, because I would think range bet this normally, but given this guy is maybe over aggressing on flops, maybe just check and just try and bluff catch with this hand. And when we see bet, I don't like this size. This is not good, Reg. This should have been just block. He calls. Turn 6. Now we start checking. We bloated the pot. We should have just blocked the pot. Blocked the flop or checked, which would have been my preferred line. Now we're in no man's land. We check. He checks back. River 5. Probably just block this river. Like 15 bigs, something like that. We checked again. I don't like this hand. He now bets our pot. We've got to call with all our bluff catches, so we do. And he had ace 10. That was not a well-played hand from me. I did not do myself proud in that one. Ace 5 suited, open. Very small 3-bet from someone playing 2013. So this range is going to be narrow as fuck, you would imagine. But he's made it way too small. So even though he's playing 2013, it's so, so, and he's not playing. So he's a fish, basically. He's a tight fish. That's what I'm trying to get to. And this range will be uber narrow. So I guess we just call. This pool is riddled with these players. And I used to always mark them orange. Oh, this guy's a reg. He's just shit. He's not a reg. He's a fish who is tight. That's what he is. He's a bad player, but he's tight. So now these players are getting marked accordingly, getting marked as green, where they would perhaps have been orange in the past. And there's no way like all 3 of these guys here, this guy, and this guy should all have the same orange tag, because they're very different. If anything, this guy should probably be upgraded to yellow. This guy's maybe close to green, but at least he's got some like aggression when it comes to stealing. And this guy is actually green. Anyway, that's by the by. We call. We flop ourselves a pretty sweet draw. Our man bets half pot. I can go either way here. Raise or call. Against this guy who I think's range is particularly tight, probably just call and maybe try and steal the pot on a later street if we don't improve when he shuts down. Well, I think for now, just calling. I think 3-betting. So we're raising this guy. Can't be terrible because we've got a shit ton of equity. So we raise and get it in here, just whatever edge. But I think I prefer calling. I do raise. He calls. Turn a pair, which is awkward as shit. And now he just does this, and we're dead. We are stone dead. We need 31% equity to call here. We haven't got it, I don't think. I mean, our 3's live, so we've got 12 outs to the nuts, on what's going to be effectively the nuts. And then, is an ace sometimes good? Maybe. Maybe we are just getting the right price to call. If we say we've got maybe like 14 outs here, we're just about getting the right price to call, aren't we? Less rake. I think this is ever so slight losing call, unless once in a while our man just has like king, queen of spades. If he's ever got flush draw, then we have to call this because we're getting just about the right price pre-rake, and maybe once in a blue moon we just have the best hand. Maybe. Not very often, but maybe. But this is not a fun spot. It's just like a whatever spot. Flick it in, and it's like pretty much 0 EV, I would imagine, at best. We do flick it in. We don't improve, and villain, of course, had a good hand. Ace, king, off. Open, 3-bet from what looks like a half-decent reg. We 4-bet, of course. He calls. Jack 10-7. Pretty crummy flop in this spot. He has like, whether he has 7s in range, I don't know, but he has jacks and 10s in range, probably close to pure, you'd imagine. 8-9 suited, probably not. I don't think he has straights. He has sets of 10s, sets of jacks for certain, sets of 7s, who knows. Does he continue here with like ace, jack, king, jack suited? He shouldn't, but he might. Do we know anything about his post-flop tendencies? Not really. Now we have a range advantage here because we have like aces, kings, queens that he probably shouldn't have, but he has sets because I don't 4-bet 10s here, I don't 4-bet jacks, I don't 4-bet 7s. This is strange, weird spot. I think probably the easiest place is to default to 1/4 pot here. That's probably the easiest play to make. Crikey, go even smaller. I go to 10% pot. I think this is overdoing it slightly, Reg. I think I'd prefer just like bet 10 or 11, see what happens. And raises small. Call, I guess. Nothing else to say. I think 3-betting would be a punt. Folding would be outrageous. We do call. Turn 8, and we're going to be checking. Villain checks back. So what do we make of villains? Like small raise flop, check back turn. Is he checking back? Would he raise 9s on the flop because we bet small? Probably not. So I don't think 9x is a big feature of his range. Are we going to have to start getting ready to try and bluff versus some sets if the river breaks? Or try and take but amount of sets or any random top pairs he might have that he shouldn't have. But how credibly can we rep 9x? He's not going to fold a set. Very complicated spot. Doesn't matter. Could we do with the nuts? And we've got a pot size bet left. Can't risk him checking back. I think all in's the only size here. So I do this. What the fuck is going on here? 1 second. Of course, I'm getting a phone call. So yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. This fuck off, Reg. Is all I've got to say about this. Just all in. This is me trying to induce, but induce from fucking what exactly? This is shit. This is really shit. Fortunately, Villain does our job for us. And he turned ace 10 into a bluff. I mean, I guess they're trying to induce, but don't, Reg. It's not the spot to try and induce, I don't think. Even though it worked this time, that's just fucking jam your hand, Reg. Just jam your fucking hand, you prick. Don't like that one. Ace Jack suited. Limp. ISO to 5 or 6, something like that, probably. 6. Call. Fold. Flop an ace. SPR 9 and a bit. Probably a bit too deep just to want to stack off here, but we want to be making some bets. Bet. Call. Turn 5. Now we're at SPR 3. So I don't think we have bet folds in us anymore at this SPR. It's going to be pretty grim if we bet and get raised. But we should definitely bet again. We do. On calls. And we have just over a pot size bet left. And the question now is, do we check to try and induce some bluffs from missed draws, missed club draws? I don't know what draw. There's not as many missed draws as you think, really, is there? I guess you can have like 6x of diamonds that cause flop with backdoors, turns, some equity. If he had a hand like 6x of diamonds, maybe. Although he's playing 19-0, so maybe he doesn't have that. I think in hindsight, probably just jam. Well, it seemed a little bit fucking thin. Is it thin? No, I don't think I do like jam. I don't want to check back a worse ace. I think, but we've gone like big bet, haven't we? So do we really just want to block river? Does it matter against a player like this if we just like bet the size of our hand and just block river now for like fucking 20 bigs? I think as an exploit against a like passive fish, type passive fish, should bet 20. I think I wouldn't, if against a reg, we wouldn't be in this spot against a reg because a reg wouldn't limp call pre. I think probably just bet 20 here would be the line I'd like to see me take. As a, just as that, this guy's not going to do anything about it. If he raises, we just beat, probably. But maybe he just jams a flush draw, then you get then your head gets messed up in game. Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, I think the line's bet fold. But I know I'm not going to find that. But I think the line is just bet 24 to a raise. We didn't. We checked, he bet 11. So I'm wanting to bluff catch his hand. Now he's bet 11. Now I'm wanting to fucking raise. Because what the fuck is betting 11? Now I'm wanting to raise for value. I don't think I'd find this raising game. But I think right now I'd like to make this like 30. But I don't think I'm ever finding this in game. Nope. Okay then. Open. 3-bet. Call. 43.29. So this guy, according to his stats so far, is like too loose, too aggressive. I think I quite like check raise here against this profile in a 3-bet pot on this node. Check, bet, raise. Yeah, okay, this one's a nothing hand. The guy just flopped the absolute nizzles. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Opened. This guy, he alternates between orange and yellow. And he's going to get promoted again to yellow. I can't make up my mind, but I think he's decent. Probably one of the better players in the pool, in my opinion. Oh, maybe not one of the better players, but I think he's a player that's likely to win quite a lot in this pool. I think his style is tailored nicely to this pool. We've gone with the 3-bet, of course. He calls. Check. On this board versus under the gun, I don't like c-betting too often versus under the gun in 3-bet pots because I think the range is very tight. But we have an overpair that could use some protection. Backdoor spades. C-bet, but not like shitty 1/3. Size up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I hit like see a random size here, because I wouldn't be surprised if I just hit my 3E button here, which might come out at around 10, but I don't know. Call. Turn 7. Check. Just 2E. Call it off. And that's what we did. I wouldn't have chosen this size. This is just me hitting the 2E button. Willen calls again. River 10. Check. I reviewed this hand in my Discord server. And because I ended up checking back here, and I asked if it was 2 weeks, because Solver wants us to jam here, because Solver thinks Villain gets here with Ace King and never folds it. I think Villain doesn't get here with Ace King, and if they do, folds it a decent chunk of the time. Then a friend of mine did a bit of like rudimentary node locking and said if you take the Ace King calls out, this hand pure checks back. So it's a bit of a weird spot. I ended up checking back, and the guy had the one hand that could have called us off. Literally the one hand that could have called us off. Well, I thought that hand was quite interesting. And I think I'm still comfortable, even though he had jacks, I'm still comfortable with my play there. Although some players did make the very valid point that if he's in here with like 8-9 suited, etc., he might just fucking flick it in, or 7x suited. So if you ever call that with 7-8 suited pre, 9-8 suited pre, etc., those hands exist in the real world where they don't really exist in theory world. They exist more in the real world. So that recut that, so that we say, right, okay, he doesn't get it with Ace King to call with, but if he does get it with 9x and 7x and sometimes calls, maybe this revalues his hand as a jam. I think it's close either way, and I'm not super unhappy with how I played it. Ace 10 off, open. 3 bets from this player we played against earlier, I think it's probably quite good. Ace 10 off should just be a fold. Given I'm not going to fold here because we're looking at the hand, I'm going to imagine I'm 4-betting this as a bluff, but I don't like it. I don't like this at all, unless I've got some kind of like meaningful stat that tells me he overfolds to 4 bets on the button, but there's no way I can have that stat really. Button 4 versus 4 bet 3 from 5, so yeah, we can't use this. I don't know why I've done this. Probably this guy maybe just getting on my fucking nerves a bit. Has he got a high 3-bet button 3-bet? Button versus middle position 15%. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this. Yeah, I think we should definitely have some like 4 bets against this guy. Ace 10 off shouldn't be one of them. This is the mistake. Anyway, we get to this flop. Yeah, backdoor nut flush draw. Probably range betting, I imagine. Don't love range betting this board because it's like regs these days on buttons. They love 3-betting pocket 7s, pocket 8s, etc. And they're never folding versus 4 bets. So I think we could just be betting into a range that's rarely folding here. But we do have the backdoor nut flush draw, and we just get to maybe do some interesting things on turns if this player allows us to see one. So if I was playing this hand again now, I would just range bet like quarter pot. So we check. He bets quarter pot. We can't fold. We probably shouldn't raise, so just call, I guess. Right then. What are we doing here, Edge? This guy's clearly got on my tits. Because I've 4-bet a hand that shouldn't 4-bet pre, and I've check raised small on this flop. This is fucking glue from me. I've been sniffing the fucking boss stick. This is absolutely, well, maybe in theory it's fucking genius, but I doubt it. I think it's very likely to be absolute fucking spew of the highest order. In fact, let's go and investigate. Sadly, we can't investigate because GTO would kick me right in the bollocks for a non-existing spot because this is a pure fold pre. Fuck off, Rage. This is just me. This is bad. And I'm not going to try and pretend otherwise. Call. Turn jack. It's just a non-existing spot. Doesn't matter what we do. Let's just watch me punt it, I guess. Yeah, we just punt it. What a fucking asshole. Fine, he folds, but yeah. Grow up, Reg. Jack 10 suited. Open. Call from an obvious fish. Even though he's playing 21-14, again, he would have the orange tag a while ago. The guy's just a fish. Fuck you. You're just a fish, mate. And that's what you're getting tagged as. A7 deuce, no flush draws or anything, just pure checking this, I imagine. We do. Villain checks back. Turn a queen. Now, if I was playing the hand now, it would just be bet now. We'd just be betting. And I'd either go 70-70 or 40-40. I think probably because we have quite a lot of strong hands in range, I prefer 70-70. I still have pocket aces, I still have pocket sevens, I still have pocket queens. Maybe even go bigger. Maybe even just fucking small overbet. Because he's check back flop. Maybe just go like fucking overbet here. It's bet anyway. We do go overbet. He calls. Overbet River Edge. Go on, son. Fucking go on, Reg. I like this line. I do like this line. I think it's completely fine. Could be completely wrong, of course. In fact, we can investigate this one. For the result, we'll investigate it. So here we are. We've got hijack cutoffs called. Everyone's folded. And we got to a flop of ace club, 7 deuce diamonds. And we are checking range 68% of the time here. Jack 10 suited in hearts specifically is checking close to pure. We do check and cut off checks. Turn was queen of spades. Jack 10 hearts is just it's not giving up, it's just checking again. It's not doing this. So where theory doesn't like what we did, theory really doesn't like what we did, because we now went with overbet, villain calls, and river was an offsuit 3. And if we do have Jack 10 suited, we are now giving up or betting non-all in, like 62% and 88%. So theory doesn't like this. Never mind. I do like it. I don't give a fuck that theory doesn't like it. I like this as I just like it. Don't care. I like it. I mean, we got called, so we're going to lose, but I liked it. Villain had ace 3. Maybe if he just doesn't ace 3, maybe it just works. Maybe he just folds. I don't give a fuck. I like that line. Theory said it was in the bin. I say theory get in the bin. Open 3-bet. 4-bet to probably 19, I guess. I mean, just all in. This guy's a reg. Yeah. Oh, excuse me, Reg. Excuse me, Reg. Why aren't we just all in there? Is there anything about this guy that makes me not want to be all in, Pre? Middle position, 4-bet range. Nah, just all in, Reg. I don't know why I've done this. Can't explain it. Don't like it. I mean, can't fold here, so we just call. Probably could start thinking about folding, but we're still beating all of his bluffs. So guess call. 10 river, check. Do we now turn our ace king into a bluff? I think we probably should. I think we do have some showdown value here. We do have some showdown value. We chop with ace king, which you can probably have. Like, to bluff or not to bluff? I mean, what do I think most regs do? If he's got kings or aces, do I think they shove here? Or do I think they start bluff catching? Because that's kind of the question, isn't it? What's queens, kings, and aces doing here versus jam? And then none of them are folding, you wouldn't imagine. How often do they get to this river with those hands in? Check. Don't know. That's the key. This is the thing we want to be thinking about. How often do they have aces, kings, queens, and check this river? I think like queens probably checks this way more than aces does. Yeah. How many hands do we beat? Like we beat obviously like ace 4, we beat ace 5, we don't beat king 10, king jack, which people go to 4-bet bluffs too. I don't think people find the other 4-bet bluffs. I think the 4-bet bluffs most regs find here is like ace 4, ace 5, king 10, king jack. Do we get a fold from king 10? Maybe. I don't think it matters very much here whether we jam or check. See, I don't know. Make a decision, Reg. That's what we're here to do. He'd probably check. He can definitely have like ace 4, ace 5, diamonds, spades, and hearts. We can maybe have some other random stuff that's just giving up. But what random stuff? I don't know. But I just don't think we're having enough folds versus. Yeah, I think probably just check back. I think you can have queens, kings, aces at some frequency doing this. And we beat bluffs still. We still win at showdown sometimes. I think probably just check back. Oh fuck! I pressed the wrong button. I think probably just check back. Don't remember the hand, so God knows what I did in game. They decided to go for the all-in, and Bill unfolded. Pocket jacks, 3 bets, 4-bet versus this guy. This guy's interesting. I've watched Easter's Stain, Easter's stream, and I've seen Easter call this guy a fucking stain a lot, and he is in a lot of ways 1916. He's like not hitting frequency on any of his opens from any position. Maybe just about hitting frequency small blind. But what's interesting about this guy is he is like very out of line. It is 3 bets. Like big blind versus small blind, 3-bet 23%. Well, maybe that's not even like way out of line, but it's more than theory, and it's way, way, way more than population. For the big blind versus the button, he's 3-betting like 15%. When he's in the small blind and the cutoff and button are open, he's finding like a reasonable number of 3-bets compared to population. So even though his VP and PFR is quite tight, he's actually one of the more aggressive regs pre-flop in the pool. So I think it's quite interesting. But nevertheless, we're in a 4-bet spot with him now. And how often is he 4-betting from the cutoff? Well, 8 for 55. So again, pretty reasonable frequencies. Against this guy, I think just probably fucking pile it in. Probably. No, Reg, just pile it in. He bets. I mean, I don't know what this size is. Don't know what's going on here. I think just rip. Just fucking rip. He might be doing this to this king, in which chance we're fucking miles ahead. If he's got us beat, then we've got an open ender, backdoor flush, just jam Reg. No, Reg, fuck off, son. Just be all in, you fucking idiot. You're fine. If he's, we can't avoid getting stacked here. We're just going to be like, right, okay, whatever. You've got aces, kings. You've got ace, king, probably. You've got some flush draws, maybe. We've got a bunch of equity. We're all in. Fuck off, Reg. Then we have to call it off on this turn anyway, when it's probably not a good turn for us. We're probably absolutely fucked. Because does he jam 10s here? Probably not. Does he jam 9s? Probably not. Does he jam queens? Probably not, but he's beating us anyway. Does he jam ace, king? Yes. Fucking just jam the flop, Reg, you fucking fat idiot. Yeah, whatever. I mean, we were always going to lose a full stack there. I'm just not happy with the way we lost it. Jam pre, jam flop. Fuck off. 9-10 suited. Open. 3-bet from this guy. This hand should just fold. But we 4-bet with it. Do I know? Oh, this guy's got a 70% fold to 4-bet. I'm more on board with this as like just exploiting his pretty high fold to 4-bet start. Probably no point looking, but button in particular, he's folding 2 out of 4. I think this is trying to exploit someone who's folding to 4-bet 70%. I think I don't mind this as an exploit, even though maybe the combination doesn't exist. Does the combo even exist? What are the positions? Middle position versus button. Just hit the reset button, Rich, you fucking idiot. So middle position open, button 3-bet. Is 10-9 suited in there? Hell no. So we have a non-existent combo here. But again, I don't care against someone who's maybe overfolding versus 4-bets. He didn't overfold this time. We get this flop. We should just mandatory bet this flop. Although I wouldn't hate check raise either. I think check raise here or range bet's fine. We go with check, bet, raise. Maybe should have got a bit bigger, 39, 40, so it doesn't really matter though. Brilliant calls. I mean, we should still be all in this turn. I think, I don't remember this hand specifically, but I think I'm right remembering what I was thinking, which was he's not folding a full house. Fine. We've got equity against a full house. If his full house is like 7s, 8s, etc. Not a lot of equity, but maybe we just get to fold out King, Queen of Diamonds here, King, Jack of Diamonds, Ace, Jack of Diamonds, Ace, Queen of Diamonds. So I think just jam. I know I didn't, but I think I should just jam. Then checks back. Yeah, just I bottled this hand. I think just jam turn there. Just jam turn. Yeah, he's not folding boards, but big deal. You know, if he's got like pocket 7s, 8s, we've got 9s, 10s, jacks even. We've got equity against all of those hands. Just jam the turn, Ridge. Stop being a fanny. Raise call. Flop. A little bit of something. Check. Big bet. Probably just call versus big bet. Don't like raising versus larger bets. I think our forward equity is significantly reduced versus big bet. Call. Turn 2 pair. Check. Bets again. I mean, I don't know enough about this player. I guess he can have some 5x from the cutoff. Call. River a full house. Do we lead here or do we check? I mean, we can lead trying to rep like missed spades. Or we can check raise. If we raise and the guy's got an ace, he's probably just calling. If we check and he's got an ace, he's probably bet calling. No, probably not bet calling. No, that's not true, Reg. It's probably bet folding. I think our hand's strong enough to check raise. So. Well, it's definitely strong enough to check raise, so I think that's what we should go for. We do. Bill calls it off. And he had a straight, so that's kind of unlucky for him. King, Queen suited. Open. Sorry, limp. Sorry, we ISO to 5 bigs. Call. With the flop. Probably just checking out of position multi-way. Turn a flush draw. Probably checking again. Wouldn't hate stabbing. We do stab. Call. River a flush. Probably size up here to like 22 big, something like that. You know, I do know my game, don't I? I promise I haven't looked at any of these before. Before today, sorry. Call, fold. I guess we're going to win. 8 queen. And this is the last hand of the video. Not the end of the video, but the last hand of the video. Min raise under the gun from a whale. We 3-bet. Call. Should range check here. Out of position multi-way. But we've got 2 fishy players, and we got a hand that needs some protection. So I don't mind deviating from what I would normally do here. Well, not normally, because this isn't normal. 3-bet with a cold call and then the call. But like in a normal situation, single race pot, etc., I'd be checking this board with my entire range almost. This isn't a spot to do that, I don't think. I think we should just c-bet. I think we should c-bet more than half pot. Less than half pot. Not happy with that, but never mind. Bill calls. Turn king. And what king X should this guy really have? I'm not worried that the king's beat us, but now he's just going to make it harder for us to get value from, like, Jackson below. But Dotton, this player's very likely to start bluffing if we check. We can still get value on a bet, I think. Do I want to start checking and playing bluff catcher with queens against a player with this profile? 53-11. Probably not. I did, though. Nah. It's bet half pot on the river. Against half pot, we're just meant to fold. Now, this is a big bet in terms of how many big blinds it is, but it's just half pot. So we should just call here and get on with our day. But calling half pot on the river, because you know we need to be calling versus half pot pretty high frequency because ranges are quite weak that bet half pot on rivers. When someone's betting half pot into 16 bigs, it's easy. When someone's betting half pot into 100 bigs, it should be just as fucking easy. Because it's just fucking half pot, but it's a lot harder because it's 50 bigs and not 8 bigs. I should just call here, though, and just get on with it. That's what I did. And Willem was bluffing. So there we go. I enjoyed that review. Hope you guys did too. Hopefully it was a bit more in-depth than some of the ones I've been speed running through lately. And this is the graph for the week that just was. The pink line's in there because we played a little bit of party yesterday and we lost, but we cashed out because we're fannies. And the fact I cashed out at 25-0, when I tell you the next story in a minute, stick around for what I did last night. It's for someone who plays my stakes. Something happened last night that was ridiculous, and it was like, you might think what I say is ridiculous. Think ridiculous times 5,000, and then you'll get what I'm talking about in a minute. There's quite a big story in a moment. Given I played 25-0 and I cash out like a fanny basically because I just can't be bothered with variance. So last week we made just under €500, which is fucking insane for 25-0, and then we got rate back. We got like 20% of this back from AAA. And a little bit of that back, so whatever. We got maybe another 50 in rate back. So we had like over a €500 week in profit. We would count in rate back, which is fucking great. Really happy with that. Going to start this week on the Party Poker streets, but not actually on Party Poker. On one of the other skins, on a name that I've not outed yet. So yeah, looking forward to grinding a bit of that. But last night, I started playing in a rather juicy app game. Last week, my friend started an app club just full of local players, the players I play with in the pub, etc. It's a really good game. It's a really soft game, but it's 100-0. And frankly, I don't really, even though the game's super soft, I don't really want to play 100-0. But I do want to play 100-0 in that game. So we're in the game because it's really soft. And like just very cliff notes of what happened last week. First night, I couldn't put names to faces because everyone's got a screen name, etc. I was kind of fumbling around in the dark. I lost 80 quid, something like that. Second night, I had a good night and I won like 200 and something. So over the first 2 nights, I was up like 130. Third night, I got my ass kicked in double board bomb pots. So bearing in mind I'm a 25-0 fucking nit who cashes out. So I cash out at 25-0, and then next thing I'm playing 100-0 double board bomb pots, and I have a session where I lose nearly 400. So I'm now down about 270 over the 3 nights. Night 4, I have a ridiculous night. I win about whatever it would have been. I think like 500 or 600, something like that. So now I'm up again about 120 odd quid, maybe a bit more. And then come to the game last night, I get the message off my mate. I actually get a phone call off my mate because sometimes I don't respond to my messages because I don't see them or messenger messages. So I get a phone call off my friend. And if you're still with me, stick around. Don't think, oh, this guy's rambling now. I've had enough of him. This is a good story, so stick around. So I get a phone call from my mate. Player X is coming in the game, Reg, and his action. At Christmas, he was playing a home game at someone's house, and many thousands changed hands. The guy's an action player, and he said, you should be in the game. I'm like, right, okay. Let's get in the game. And the nuts and bolts of it is I started playing about 9 o'clock at night, maybe a little bit later. I was in for £101.50, and I came out of the game with £1,955. So last night in a cash game playing 100nl, I won 1,854 quid, something like that. Fucking ridiculous. Some of the spots I was going, I'll never be able to share the hands because it's a private game, and I ain't gonna fuck up my my chance to play in that game by sharing hands. Fair enough, they're just screen names, etc. Not the point. There's no way I'm ever going to do that. I'm not going to share any of those. And number one, the app doesn't like their play being like shown on YouTube anyway. And number two, the players wouldn't want to be seen, wouldn't want to be shown. So that will never happen. I posted a screenshot to Discord showing the profit. So it definitely happened. There is evidence that this happened. Sadly, it'll never make it to the channel. But yeah, I played a 4-hour session and I won £1,800 when my usual stake is 25nl. And I am fucking cashing out at 25nl. And I'm playing 25nl again today. After making this video, I'm going to go and take my mum to the shop. I'm going to come back. I'm going to play 25nl. And if I get it all in with like coin flip or something, I'm going to be cashing out. It's just who I am. I've just booked basically a €2,500 week, and I'll be cashing out at 25nl because it's just who I am. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that little story. If you don't like me, you're going to be really pissed off you stuck around for that. But if you are one of the good guys who roots for me, I hope you enjoyed the story. And yeah, we'll be back maybe later in the week with some handsome 25nl party. But if not, back next week with a similar video to what we've just made now. But for now, I'm out of here. I must take mum to the shop. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.